Hey there, solar icons. We are going to turn this over to the top sellers on our team who just attended or witnessed our huge convention that kicked off on Thursday and wrapped up late Saturday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern on the East Coast here. It was an amazing event, but I want to turn this over to our top sellers. And so, Katie, we're going to start with you first if you're here.
Yes, Aaron, thanks so much for that welcome. I just wanted to say the convention was extraordinary. It was really exciting to see where our numbers are headed, and especially for where we are right now, Northeast, Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, they are right there going sky high. I just think the best thing that I took away is the culture. This company pours so much into us, and they really want to make sure that we're given the tools to succeed, and also just to have that community of just really being not just one of a number, really part of the group. And to see how passionate our CEO is, Jonathan was just, it was mind-blowing to see him show the numbers where we're going, not just, millions, we're going to billions. And if you don't see and believe just from hearing him talk the first time, but not to mention the second or the third or the fourth time, but really also seeing how heartwarming he was talking about his mother and getting the award for the the Butt Award to go to Paris. Rick, it was just really, it was just so emotionally really exciting to see how, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words with this because it really affected me emotionally. I was literally in tears seeing Rick receive that award, and seeing his wife and daughter just be so excited for him, and I was as well. So that's pretty much all that I have.
I love that. Katie, real quick, and I know we didn't prep for this, so I apologize ahead of time. What's one or two things you're going to implement? A change you're making, something that you're committed to getting into action regarding from convention, or taking away from convention rather?
Just really, really making sure that I'm in the state that could be put on the map, and Maryland is just the beginning of the tip of the iceberg. So to actually really go full forward with just every marketing effort to get everyone in Maryland and Delaware and Pennsylvania. I know this is probably not what you were expecting, and I really wasn't either, but I just am really not going to I'm not going to hold back with pushing forward with Maryland and making sure we are on the map.
I love that. And I have zero doubt that you won't accomplish that. Appreciate you sharing. We're going to come back to you, so don't leave, by the way. Michael, are you here?
I am. Well, Katie stole a bunch of my thunder there, things I was going to talk about, but the culture was a big part of it for me too. When Bobby first started calling me to join the company in 2015, etc. But, just saying about these are not your normal group of people here. It's just pretty phenomenal how the energy and the culture and the no give up attitude that's out there. Jonathan leading from the front. I reiterate what Katie said at the end. I was actually driving in my car, heading to a concert with my wife Saturday evening when the Andrea Butt Awards were presented, and my wife is listening on her headset, something different than I'm listening to. She wanted to know why I was crying in the front seat driving. I mean, it was so moving to see, and it really humanized what the company is up to, and I felt like I was part of the company for the first time, like part of this bigger entity. It was like my first Valpak convention, being in a room of 1,000 people, realizing I'm not just me here in my own little place here in Baltimore, and I see a few other people around, but realize I'm part of the big picture and what we can do together as a company. The other part that I'm looking forward to learn the systems is Powur Vision, that we can create our own solos and we can make the changes and adapters are going along and not have to worry about others standing in our way. They're giving us all the keys to the castle, which I think is pretty amazing as well. And as far as what I'm going to implement, because I know you're going to be asking me that question, I think almost going back to the basics, going to that original list, the jogger list of all the names out there, looking for Chris's and your help, Aaron, with my CRMs and really putting these in an organized place, because two notebooks and scraps of paper and notes in my phone and everything else is just ridiculous. So I need to move on and grow up and get this all started, because I'm sure I've got $1 million worth of assets here that I need to get under control.
Love it, man. I feel sorry for Marissa, who has to follow you in a second. Seeing your eyes kind of like twitch, it's powerful. Marina, I used to tell people all the time, the power of convention in our, I'll speak for her, in our opinions, it goes from your head down to your heart. Like it's what you just said, and you said it 1,000 times better than I could ever pretend. But it just takes on a life of its own, if you will. So I really appreciate you sharing, and I'm going to echo what you and Katie said as well. I know I'll speak for Brian on this one. That first opening with our CEO and the slides and everything. I knew this was big. You guys know I talk about 7 figures a month. It's 1,000 times bigger than I thought. Like it really, really is. Like, I mean, we joke about being in the top or the bottom of the first inning. I don't even know if we're up to bat yet. Like I really don't. And that was mind blowing for me. I got to figure out how to bottle that emotion and some of those slides to take that to the marketplace. You guys know my stance. I don't think any of us on this call, unless you're really, really young, is going to have another opportunity like this served up to us. I really, really don't. And I just hope everyone caught that and they really gathered that and they do something with it. I know I will for sure. Marissa, I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend.
Thanks. It really goes in line with what Katie and Michael just said, not to be like cliche or anything, but it's really the heart of the company, right? It's the heart of the mission. If you don't believe in the mission, if you don't believe in what the company stands for, what we're doing, not only to help homeowners, to help individuals who are here as sellers, like this thing is, and I don't know how many different ways we can say it, right? But it is so much bigger than just us individually. It's as a collective, how many people can be impacted by such an opportunity such as this. That for me, that was the biggest thing, is just reconnecting with the purpose, with the mission, with the vision of what Powur really stands for. And what this team stands for. We all have heart. We all have, exactly purpose. I think there's so many different things that we all face in our day-to-day life that sometimes it's easy to become disconnected. It's easy to become complacent, or, just forget some of those basics of tracking your KPIs and what are your DMOs. The biggest thing I took away from this convention was just the heart. I mean, from the Andrea Budd Award, from Ubaldo talking about fears and jumping out of an airplane to skydive in Mexico, from that mission impact trip to building a home. Like, it's really about mission, it's about purpose, and it's about impact. So for me, that was the biggest thing to take away and remember, is that the work that we are doing is impacting somebody, not just today, but for long term.
Ooh, love that. Love that. I'm not going to forget. At least I'm going to do my best. One action item that you're literally taking.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for a few things, but I think for me, it's going back to the basics, not overthinking and tracking KPIs, tracking and following up. We hear it all the time. The fortune is in the follow-up. That was continued to be reiterated during the convention, is just making sure that you're following up with the people, the appropriate way, treating people how you want to be treated. If you want respect, if you want follow-up, if you want truth, give that to everyone else. Take the time out to track the activity you're doing, and that includes follow-up.
I love that. Love that. And, I'll share this too. One of the reasons I'm asking for an action item, it's important, right? I'm a serial conventionist. I don't even know if that's a word, but you guys know where I'm going. And I see so often, and I was one of those people for years, I would come back with notebooks and pages of notes. Typically after you get back, hopefully this isn't Maureen, you almost have to decompress for 2 or 3 days. Like you hadn't slept, you're battling a cold from shaking hands and hugging everybody and all the crazy stuff that goes with convention. But all of a sudden a week goes by post-convention and that rah-rah, you can lose it. So it's all about taking what you just learned, dissecting it, not taking every single page, right? In fact, I have a whole training I'll do on that, but grabbing 2 or 3 things and jumping into immediate action with it. This way you're getting paid for your time at that convention, right? It wasn't just a motivational thing, which I think is so, so important. Anyway, Marissa, thank you so much for sharing. Stacy, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me
Awesome.
all right?
I can, loud and clear. We would love to hear some of your aha moments.
All right. Well, a little bit like a broken record, but it's powerful. The numbers are powerful. So many people are wondering, what am I going to do? I'm getting laid off and having to close doors. And here we've got just this upward climb for 20 years, they were showing us. So it's just going to get better and better. And like you said, are we even up to bat yet? I don't know. But the culture as well. I mean, I've worked for small businesses where the owner doesn't care as much as I do. I've worked for a corporation where they think you're making too much, so they lower your commissions. But here they're leading with abundance. They're giving you everything to succeed. And they're also doing it, through a charitable cause or towards charitable causes, which is what, is a big why for me and what I get fulfilled from. So, it's cool when you see the leaders just have the same wavelength. They're leading and thinking and coming from abundance and giving back and all that type of stuff. So I think that what I'm going to do going in the future, and as we've all said here, is we care. We love being around people that care. Let's go find out more people in the community. Do you want to care more for your clients and make sure you understand solar when you've helped them with their home or things of that sort. So just collect more caring people, because that's who we all are, and that's what has attracted us to this, a lot of us, and we keep doing. So I'm going to do the time block follow-up Friday and look for those caring people that want to earn more to give back and take better care of the people around them, their clients and such.
I love that. Here in Utah, this is a training Chris and I are going to be doing, probably not this week, but next week, about finding your voice, finding your audience, finding your team, your tribe, whatever you want to label it. And I hope you just realize, but you just found yours. Like you just found it. So not only will you resonate with them, it's going to fill you up as you're coaching them, as you're leading them. So I love that. That's really, really cool, powerful stuff. Brian, are you around?
I am here.
Let's do it, brother. I can't wait to hear some of your takeaways and ahas, my friend.
Man, so there were a lot, and I've been to a lot of conferences. Like I love going to conferences; they're great. So to be honest with you, going into it, I had questions virtually about how that was going to work, and they did such a great job. Making it engaging, pulling in different people. They really crushed it. So let me just start with on the level with other conferences that I've spent a lot of money to go to and doing it virtually. So I was super impressed. So you talked about, Aaron, I think it was you that said something about just about the opportunity and the size of it. I was really impressed by the runway that we've got in front of us. And I think for everybody here, what I grabbed was runway in 3 different directions. First, we've got runway until I think it was 2035, where we've got massive growth. Like we don't have any, like zero opportunity for saturation all the way until 2035, just for the overall market. Just for the overall market, there's a stupid amount of growth. We can sell as much as we could possibly sell, everybody here, and just go crush it for the next 10, 12 years and not even hope to get to capacity. So that was the first thing that jumped out at me. The second was, and I think Jonathan shared this, was sellers. And this is like outside consultants that came up with this, not folks inside the company or just pie in the sky. These are folks that did the numbers for us. And we've got 7,000 sellers now and should fully have an expectation of having 54,000 sellers. Dude, there's like 8x. So that should at least 8 times the number of sellers that we've got. And all of us have, anybody who wants to has a huge opportunity to build a team, build a big team, make a difference for so many people and earn an amazing income for ourselves. So that was the second piece of the runway that we got in front of us. And then the third thing I thought is, okay, so we can add a lot of sellers. There's a lot of runway to to go with this thing for years. And our name recognition is not awesome yet. So we can sell more, but we can also just sell more in the market that we've already got just by being better known and getting our name out there. And that's the work that we do. Like, that's why we're here. That's our job. And we just got a chance and an opportunity to go carry the flag and improve, our awareness and improve the market. So we can grow in a lot of ways. We all know that there's 5 different ways we can get paid, and we've got just this crazy long runway to go do that. So you can tell I'm fired up.
Love it, man. Your voice comes from a business owner mindset, which is powerful. I'm sure everyone else picked up on that as well. 3 key nuggets that he dropped. Our nugget number 2, not to correct you, maybe I made the mistake. I wrote down 154.
That's probably right, because he said 20x. And
yeah, okay, I was gonna say, because even 54, you got me jacked. I got goosebumps, but it's bigger than that, bro. That was one of my nuggets, 100%. 154. And by the way, you guys know my stance on that. I see Tisha. I know how this movie ends. We already did this at EXP.
Yeah.
And this is 1,000 times bigger. You don't need a real estate license. You're not in love with your brokerage. Like 150 might have been conservative, but I just needed an outside party, like Brian said, to confirm what we were hoping and praying for. Mind blowing. How many of those 154 in the next 5 years will be in your organization? Seriously, like, that is legacy wealth, my friends. Legacy wealth, not wealth for you. That is wealth that future generations will struggle to spend. Like, crazy. Anyway, Brian, I appreciate you, man. I really, really do. Chris Hart, are you there?
Yes.
Oh God, come on, video. And this was not planned at all. Oh,
Jesus Christmas, you people today. Good Lord.
Come off mute, turn on the video. Let's go.
There's a button over here and a button over there you got to press to do those things. What's
Chris,
up?
no one's touched on it yet. I'm going to Maureen last on attention. Normally I don't leave the ladies for the end, but she was there, so I don't want her to steal all the glory of having all the inside scoops. I had to give other people a chance. So Maureen, yell at me later. Chris, during it and after it, your mind was blown on a lot of things, but one key topic came to mind, and it was our keynote. I would love to hear you talk about that, man, and some of your takeaways specifically regarding Minor, if you don't mind.
Yeah, over the years, I've coached on kind of a different way of selling, right? More of the consultative approach with neuropsychology, leveraging the brain and how all that stuff works to create influence. That tends to be outside the normal scope of training in sales, whether it's real estate and or solar. And so much of sales over the years has been old ways of doing things. And we know that people don't typically embrace change very easily. So there's been a lot of resistance over the years of trying to teach people a more questions-based, consultative neuropsychology, et cetera. So hearing him reinforce a lot of that stuff was refreshing to know, like, hey, more of the sales industry is embracing this. And I'm not as crazy as maybe I thought I might have been over the last few years. But really, the takeaway from it is the advancement in sales is there's a new way of doing things. And if you don't embrace that approach, you're going to limit yourself, right? And I'll share that there's been some personal frustrations that I've had on this journey of learning to sell solar and that sort of thing. And the reality was, when we came on board, we did what other people were doing, right? Only to find out it's kind of the old style way of doing things. And I kind of deviated from what I knew. And my big takeaway from what Jeremy was talking about and taught on was get back to what works, right? And I believe it was just a big part of my story, especially as a coach, has always been, I'm not someone here that's going to tell you, what to do. There's plenty of information on the internet that will tell you that. I'm here to tell you the failing forward, right? Like, I've mastered failing forward. And so it was refreshing to know, hey, I failed forward. I know what the right thing to do is. And I need to personally get back to that. But for everybody else, if you did not catch that session, when they make it go live, I 100% highly, highly, highly recommend you do so. He gave you a fantastic framework of how to navigate talking to leads, especially if you're doing the online lead, cold lead thing, or lead generation, how to talk to them and really leverage. There's a class I'm going to teach you guys, because really his whole process was doing it on a process of closing on no. Right. And I'll eventually teach that one Friday, but he was very masterful at doing it. So all in all of that's to say a lot of what he said and did really opened my mind back to a specific model of selling in today's world of influence versus the old style way. And I personally believe if you do not embrace that, you're going to lose a lot of business, right? You heard him talk about like, hey, how many deals a month or a week are you losing? And the sizable amount of money that correlates to based off of the amount of money that's involved in each and every deal. So that was my takeaway.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Obviously, Chris and I have a lot of sidebars, so I could tell how excited he was. You know, I'll echo a little bit of that. I really think this is going to be the linchpin to our team's growth, and we haven't even scratched the surface on this one yet. There's so many of us on this team that come from the real estate space, and many of us from either a KW or EXP. Not to say those are the only two, but our difference at those two brokerages specifically is that we teach people how to become business owners and not just salespeople. And this is something Chris and I are adamant about. Like, this is going to be. We're going to go down on the ship sinking if we have to, singing this to every single person we get into business with, so that you figure out a way out of this and you're not just slinging glass for the rest of your life. Unless you want to be. I see some Solar Pros shaking. They get it. You can, and we encourage it, but we want to show you how to run it like a business, how to truly run it but like a business. And there's no other solar company doing it. So I'm super excited about it. Chris, appreciate you sharing. Michelle, we will end on you, but I'm going to turn it over to Miss Maureen, our newest Tier 3, who was there live and on stage. Would love to hear some of your nuggets and backstage moments as well. Maureen, if I yelled at Chris, come on, get off mute.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't even know where to start. Like, I'm in Irene's house right now, took me in. So it's like, it really is the culture. I heard you guys tap into that. I mean, just in terms of the business, I think the most exciting thing for me, if I were just putting myself in an observer shoes, was hearing Jonathan talk, really about the projections. Like, I got so fired up when I thought, being here and creating relationships with, some of the people that have been in this company for 8 years. Like, I shared an Airbnb with Melissa Dawson, one of the original ones, and talking about, and then hearing Jim Bunch and Charles talk more when it was, and Bobby, when it was just like the 6 of them in this. And we drove by Carlsbad, like the old corporate headquarters, where you hear him talk about the stories where there was no AC and crack walls. Melissa was like, that's the spot where we used to just sit. So seeing kind of the before and now. So I'm thinking, like, this was all before hearing Jonathan talk. Wow, how far they've come from 6 years ago, like showing the commitment to the vision. Like, it wasn't always, easy. And then hearing the story of his mom about how for 5 years and what she poured into all of it. And like, now look at what they've created with 7,000 of us and 300 people in corporate. So having that baseline before convention even started, I was blown away by the growth of Powur. And then to have it flipped by Jonathan saying, this is the projection. This is actually where we're going to go relative to where we are now. And we're not even out of training camp yet. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, we are perfectly positioned at this time to be at what really still is the beginning of something that is going to be so incredibly expansive and impactful. So that was really, really exciting. And I can't wait for you guys to be able to have an in-person experience in September, and to just really be absorbed into, and I know Aaron knows this too, they said at a lot of the other conventions we used to go to, like, there are going to be challenges. It's not always going to be easy. This is construction. There are huge learning curves. There's probably going to be some things that we try as a company that work and that don't work. But what's going to continue to push us through all those growth pains is the relationships, is the culture that you guys are starting to see, the genuineness. You know, I was kind of homeless for the last 2 days because we checked out Airbnb. I'm going to Salt Lake Tuesday night, and there were like 8 people. Oh, you can come stay with me and crash on my, I mean, Irene wasn't even here yesterday. She's like, mi casa, su casa, doors open, just go in, whatever, you know, just like, these are the type of people that we are in business with. You know, it really is that holistic approach. Yes, we have a great thing that we're up to in the world and a ton of money, but I hope you guys can start to see how blessed we really are to not just be a part of this team and the support we have, but this is really just, you know, the company is an extension of what you guys are already experiencing here, you know, and just people that really care. It's one big family. So, and then all the sidebar conversations, like just being a fly on the wall in the break room and hearing all the strategy that's going to happen and what we really get to do with, you know, enterprise accounts, as those are going to really take off, and the opportunities to build different verticals. And I'm really fired up personally about the value proposition of helping small businesses add a turnkey virtual solar platform to their business, and all the different ways that we're able to do that by, you know, I have to figure out more of this, but I'll be with Melissa Dawson in Salt Lake Wednesday through Saturday. And so I'm going to pick her brain a lot, and I will share with you guys more about what I find out about the enterprise, but the different things that they're going to do with it. I don't know. I feel like I could go on for hours, and honestly, I'm still exhausted because I think I'm just so fried. It was so exciting. And yeah. I'm not firing on all cylinders, so probably another day.
What about an action item or two that you're gonna jump in and
For me, definitely, like, what I'm most excited about is really, and I know Katie's focused on this in Maryland right now, which is awesome, but I'm going to do something similar with Florida. You know, is because we're virtual, it's been a blessing. Like the 13 or so contracts that I have, I think only one of them was in Florida local. So I love the virtual platform. So I'm excited to keep that going as well, but also to really be focusing on building local market now. So the live events, you know, Joelle and I are hosting that one on the rooftop in my building on 322 to lead into Power Day, which we're hosting, you know, in April. And since if you guys haven't joined a BNI yet, I highly recommend it. It is work. It's a lot, but you can time block it, but the rewards are amazing. So I know they've been really supportive of my local events. They're funneling people to me. Great opportunity for them to be referral partners, ambassadors, some even business partners. I've got 4 bills from them, you know, that I'm going to do presentations for in the next week. So becoming that go-to local solar person in your area, if you do live in a market where we can sell. So I think that's my biggest thing too, is to just keep the activity up and to really just be focused now on building local and selling locally.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, please stick around, because I know we're going to open it up to Q&A. We're going to kick it off with Michelle, and then we'll go to Mitch, and then anyone else who has questions or comments want to share theirs. Michelle, the floor is yours, my friend.
Hi. I just wanted to say quickly that what I got from it, I know you didn't ask me, but I want to tell you.
I just asked you, go for it.
But I wanted to say that I just got really that, you know, again, with, I mean, really piggybacking on what Maureen said, because she said a lot of the stuff that I was thinking and that I wanted to say about, you know, when Jonathan was talking in the beginning, when it started, and, you know, seeing those numbers, seeing where we're going, seeing, you know, that we are just at the beginning, it just made me, you know, I have in my mind since then is just think bigger, think big. I was not, you know, I was clearly just thinking way smaller. And I know now it's like, just think bigger. Like you weren't, you know, we have not scratched the surface yet. And it's just, you know, from here, I'm like super motivated. I mean, I was a little bit motivated after, well, not a little bit, like I went to the leadership conference and I was motivated there, but I don't know, something about this virtual one was like even different. I'm like thinking to myself, I didn't even have to pay to go all the way there. You know, at this point, I got more motivation out of this virtual one. I don't know why, but I did. I think it's just maybe a headspace I was in then versus now, but I'm more settled, and it's like, you know, all gas, no brakes, And that's it. That's my takeaway. That's what I'm doing. I'm just all gas. That's it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. I will hold you accountable to thinking bigger. I had the same takeaway, and I'm usually a pretty big thinker. I totally agree with you. I just, you can tell my thoughts they're all over the place. This thing is just massive. So I think we all need to hold each other accountable on that one. Mitch.
Yeah, I want to do my takeaway. I was on for about 99% of the convention, and it was exciting. What I got the most that hasn't been really touched on yet, because there's been a lot touched on, and I agree with all of you, is when they were talking about, when Bobby was talking about the old model, we got 3.5 million installs. And I've been in solar a long time. I had my own solar company. It was called Sunrise Energy out of Newport, Rhode Island. And we put up about 2,100 solar hot water systems in about 5 years. And that was in the 80s. That was 83 to almost 88. And that model that Bobby was talking about was more or less the model we had. And I've been with one company now for 9 years. I'm basically got all but one toe left in with that company because there's still a few installs. And the model, I want to talk about how the model that I've been in doesn't work. And it's been very frustrating because sometimes I have these fantasies like, the world needs to do this. Why don't we just have the government we're going to pay for everybody and you're all going to get it. But politically, that's not going to happen. You can't even get tax credits. It shouldn't even be a tax credit. It should be a grant. So people who are not earning a lot of taxable income can put solar on their house. But I put all that aside. The model right now, and it's still part of our model, is when we talk to somebody, we really kind of have to, unless they already come there, and that means they've gotten other quotes, but if we're the first one to talk to them, we really got to put their mind into the fact that solar works and it's something that they should need. Where most businesses are like, hey, buy Coke, not Pepsi, come to us, not them, go to Burger King, not McDonald's, blah, blah, blah. And we have to put them in that mindset. And the framework is, put salespeople out there. You got the red line, and you make a reasonable commission if you get a few $1,000s over the red line. And sometimes you can't even win the deal without going below the red line. So, the bottom line is this, I've been with this company, they're called Marisol Solar, very ethical company, but they're using the old model. And with Powur, I can offer a customer a 30% to 35% cheaper deal with the same type of quality equipment, installs for at least 30% less. I'm making about 2.5 times more. Now that's a win-win. And the other big win-win is because my installs here, which are local, are taking place in 6 weeks. I had an install about 6 weeks ago that I placed the order 9 months ago. That means I had to wait 9 months. And all I got was excuses. And then the owners of Marisol are like, come on now, get referrals from your customers. And I would say, I try to get referrals and they say, you took 7 months to put my system in. I'm not going to give you a referral. So
I'm glad you found a new home, man.
So this is, the opportunity is huge. I come from the same company that Aaron and a few others are. I'm a ring earner in that company. And I worked my ass off for 22 years, never really getting much over 80,000 a year. And I'm just so excited because I put down, one of the things I did yesterday, I put down a game plan for myself. And I want to end the year with $200,000 of income for the year, but making 50 to 60, 70,000 a month after that, which is a lot more than 200,000 a year. And Aaron, thank you for introducing this to me.
Absolutely, brother. It's always cool to hear a perspective from a solar professional who's been in there and the comparisons and contrast moments between the two, which is awesome. Well, let's do what we always do for the last 8 or 9 minutes. Open it up. You guys can and gals can stay on this subject. If you want to take a deep dive on anything that one of the experts talked about, by all means, while we have them, the floor is yours, my friends. Don't be shy. Come on.
Hey, so this is Tisha. One of the things I heard that I'm going to do, and I'm making a list, is get 50 ambassadors. Someone said they get, like, one of the things that they do right away is get 50 ambassadors. So I thought, man, that is like an easy call to just tell people, hey, I just would love to pay you to help us out. You know, we're just getting started in this real estate business. I would love to pay you. I mean, I have 200 friends I could call and send them. Can I just send you the link, you know, look it over, and you can at least get ambassadors signed up and get people referring you deals. Now,
100%.
agents, when I talk to agents, I'm not going to give them that option because I want them to sign up as like tier 1. So these are like friends and, you know, people I know who are in other careers. But for the agents and things that we talk to and mortgage lenders, we want to be pressing the tier 1 portion of it more from a building perspective. So.
Everything you just said was nailed 100%. I was about to interject with the second part, and she said, I just want to make sure we drive that home. Where she's really gifted. She's obviously the top recruiter on the team this past month. I think a lot of times, right, my humble opinion, people lead with ambassador too quickly. It's a much easier conversation. It's free. There's no wallet needed. You're just offering a value add. With the hope that they'll get exposed and all of a sudden one become a partner. I love that she's talking about friends that she knows isn't going to do the business, maybe past clients. If you're in real estate, that's where I signed a lot of my ambassadors. Easy conversation. Just know that if you're trying to build an organization, I do think you should lead with that for most people, unless you know flat out they wouldn't. That's when you're leading with ambassador. The other piece of the ambassador that I'm looking to solve, and hopefully you all are as well, and I posted it in Telegram, I think I only had one person respond to it, unfortunately, is a lot of times in the ambassador program, they come on board, they're not on these calls. They're not sellers. They're not plugged into our ecosystem. So unless you're handholding, you've done some sort of nurturing, it's out of sight, out of mind. We talk about this in real estate all the time. We got to be touching our database. I was a big Buffini person. I mailed things out. I did client events, like everything I could to remain top of mind. So I am looking for a key group of select people. I'd love to have Tisha and Brian on there, a humble plug in front of everybody, maybe 5 or 6 people. I'm looking to build out a drip for ambassadors so that we're touching them every few weeks with some sort of information, some sort of reminder that we're there, obviously all tailored to each and every one of you. But I think that would be beneficial as well. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Hey, Aaron, can I jump in real quick?
Please.
Just on that, and I'm sorry, Adrian, I know your hands up, but just to chime in on this really quickly. And Michelle put it in the chat. Wally did an amazing presentation when they did like that breakout session. Wally did a presentation on how he gets his ambassadors engaged. He said a very high percentage of his deals comes from his ambassador. And I know that we've joked around, like, how the heck do we grow our business off of ambassadors? One of the things that he said is that he sends them a newsletter about just different things of how to get them engaged. And then the other piece I took away from it was really honing in on the reality of what can they do with that $1,000. So I actually had one of my ambassadors who got $1,000, and I sent her a message and I was like, hey, how did you use that? Because she joked around, oh, it's already spent, because I wanted to confirm she got it. And I didn't think in the moment to ask her, well, how did you spend it? After Wally's training, I reached out and I was like, hey, by the way, what did you do with that $1,000? She's like, I took my twin boys to Disney for their birthday.
Wow.
And I put that up on a post, and I've had a little bit of engagement since then. And something that I did, I'm going to give you guys some insight. I went on Amazon. Everybody's got Amazon, right? Right to your door. I spent $13. See that? No, I can't see that.
We can't see it.
Hold on.
Looks like a check.
It is a check.
I love big checks.
It's a big check, and it's dry erase. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put the amount of $1,000 and take pictures with my ambassadors. I'm going to use it for my homeowners when they get cash back, if we do the cash back incentive. And I think it's really just making a reality. What would you do with $1,000? I've had people respond to me that they would help their family members pay off mortgages. They would donate it to child cancer. I mean, so many things that I'm hearing about how they would spend that $1,000 we got to make it a reality, guys. What would you
Love
do
that.
with that $1,000?
Strong. Love it. Good point, Michelle, as well on that. Adrian. Did I lose her? I can't hear her. Can anyone else?
No.
Nope.
I don't even see her anymore. Where'd she
She's
go?
there. I can't hear
She's
you
there?
though. Oh, she drops bombs too. Still can't. I'm gonna go to Rosario while you try to play with it. Rosario.
Hi. So I'm so hyped, guys. This weekend was so powerful. Maureen, I'm gonna get with you. I have my ticket for the on the Utah trip. I have some people that want to be able to have more of like the enterprise kind of style, like on that space that I really don't know how it works, but I'm gonna get with Maureen so that way I can learn a little bit more on it. One of the things that I took away from all this weekend is lead with heart, because we're human. We're human. If you come to people with the self pitch, they're gonna block you, you know, even if they're friends. And what's been working for me from all that is actually not being direct with the person, like go into their network. I think I said it before, focus on their people, because at the end of the day, when those people come in with you, they're going to see, wait, what? Now they're going to want to see what you have going on. So that's what's been working for me. And I wanted to share it with you guys. But I'm so excited because the mind was just like we're thinking small. Like I was thinking super small, and this just really, you know, the vision, the mission, the passion, everything all around was just so powerful and truly connected, you know, with us through heart. And I'm that person, and it's just, I come out of words. Like I cried all weekend, you know, cleansing all weekend. That's what I did, Marisa. I cried all weekend and just let it all out. If there's anything holding you back, you gotta tap into yourself, because that's the only way you're gonna, you know, do those goals. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. And I love y'all.
Love it. Rosario, I know I tell you every single day, but I'm gonna say it publicly again. You have some energy and music to you that is, I smile just hearing you talk. I hope and pray that you are utilizing video and voice text, my friend. Like that is your gift from God. And so I pray that you are. You should never, ever just be on a phone call. Like that is, you just have some gift. Anyway, appreciate you. Chris, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we're going to close on this. Obviously, Chris and I, in fact, I'm going to challenge both of us. We're going to do a better job promoting the next event. And we have a huge one coming up on Friday. Chris, you want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah. So Friday, you guys know we do script coaching. This week is selling solar. Last week was recruiting. We flip-flop back and forth each week. This week, some of you guys have asked me in the past I've talked a lot about personality, DISC, and how to, you know, leverage that in selling. So I'm going to do a class on that. We are going to do it on, what is that, StreamYard, Aaron?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to do that on StreamYard. We do get to feature some people. So we'd love to invite some people to be featured on that as well. But it's going to be a great class, guys. I'll tell you right now. There's a saying that I have: if you don't know what influences people, you don't know how to effectively influence them. And the one thing that influences every single person is their personality. Okay, so what I'm going to teach you guys is, one, understanding the 4 different aspects of personality through the DISC model. And then how to sell with it. So we'll, you know, in successive sessions, we'll go into deep dives of different words and phrases that you can use to help enhance the ability to talk to that person's personality, to build that know, like, and trust that increases your ability to influence people. So we'll be launching that this Friday. Can I say about Wednesday?
Sure.
Touch on that real quick. Anybody interested in doing the CRM thing that launches on Wednesday? So if you want more information on that, just hit me up offline.
Awesome. The one other thing I'll echo on the DISC, it's amazing. It changed my life. That's probably the best training I've ever been a part of. Chris was a master teacher on that for Keller Williams, part of their master faculty, I think was the correct language on that. Obviously spent a lot of time teaching me on that as well. Hopefully you'll allow me to contribute on that class. I just love it. It changed everything. The layer I wanted to add for each of you who are kind of questioning, do I do it on a Friday at 9:30? It is so much, you'll never hear me say this again, by the way, so much bigger than just selling solar. It's how I communicate with my wife.
Yeah.
How I communicate with my kids, my
Yeah.
in-laws. Like I can pick up what personality style they are so that I adapt, not them having to adapt to me. I'm being the bigger person. I want to be more influential, so I adapt to them. It changes everything you do. You'll walk out of a class with Chris wanting to disc every single person you've ever met so that you can learn how to hone that skill. It is just freaking powerful. One last thing, and we'll shut it down. I am going to be launching a Solar Icons podcast this week. I will be reaching out to many of you to feature you and interview you. I'm excited not only for training, but for all of us for recruiting, to be able to put this out there. No one else in the space is doing it, at least at the level that we're looking to do it for, that business side, right? For attraction, for sales, for everything. It is going to be the one shop. What is this saying? One shop, I forgot. Anyway, you guys know where I'm coming from. Don't laugh, Michelle. Anyway, I'll get out the details on that so that you guys can hop on live and also send out some invites. On Chris's call on Friday, we only have 10 spots. We're not guaranteed we're going to fill them all on there. But if you guys are in production, you want to be part of it, you're stationary, you have a good quality camera, want to be a part of it, reach out to Chris or myself. We'd love to be featuring as many people from the team on that as we syndicate it out everywhere. So it's a great time for a great chance for your teams to see you on the main stage. Hope each and every one of you have a great day. Thank you. Appreciate all the presenters that shared their ahas. I have notes again. I got books and books of notes on books and books of notes. Hope to see you all in the 8 o'clock. Yes, Maureen.
I just wanted to say one thing. So when you're on stage there, the coolest thing is you can actually see you guys on Zoom. So it was really, really cool to see your camera on in this, and then you can see the Zoom chat live. And so it really fires up. So I just wanted to thank everyone for all the love and encouragement and support, because it helped me really not be nervous, because I could actually see you guys real time, like, you know, in the corner on Thursday night, like Maureen and Garrett in there. So it's like, it's not unnoticed. And it was really, really like just to feel the love and the support. And so I just wanted to acknowledge you guys and thank you for, you know, being in it with me, because it can be a little intimidating. So I saw you guys on Zoom and in the chat. So thank you.
That's awesome. Appreciate you sharing that. All right, we'll wrap up. We'll see everyone tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, powerhour.com. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day.